Hello. Welcome to JW Military Finance. I know it's been a minute, but I've been really busy. Really busy. We had a baby recently, newborn. I'm just getting into the swing of work. Not had time for this. But I wanted to do the PCS 6 lessons learned from my most recent permanent changes station. But first, please subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like. Share my content with your friends. So let's dive into it. 6 lessons learned from my PCS that might be able to help you. The biggest one, I think, was that my elected advance pays, right? My advanced DLA, advanced per diem, and all of that stuff didn't arrive prior to the commencement of my travel. In fact, it arrived about a week after my travel ended. So what does this mean? One, I chose not to use my government travel card, and I'm glad I didn't. And I don't think you should use it either. But what does that mean? It means that maybe you do need to have a small savings account set up for your PCS. $1,000. $1,000 would have covered all of my travel expenses. The food, the lodging, the gas. $1,000 easily would have covered it all. I use my personal credit card, which I like. I got my reward points. I'm happy about it. And then when the travel money did come in, I was able to pay off my credit card. Now the advanced DLA, if you were moving into an apartment and you were relying on that advanced DLA, that could have been a big hit. So your first month security deposit, that type of stuff, you would have had to come up with another way to do it. That $1,000 wouldn't have covered that. So if you were really relying on that DLA to come in prior to your PCS, that could have been an issue. Luckily for me, it wasn't. We had purchased a new home. We were moving into a home. There was expenses with that, but we didn't need the DLA to put down like a security deposit or a first month's rent. Let's see here. I overestimated my abilities to drive. I overestimated how long it would take to drive, how long stops would take, and I also underestimated how big of a city San Antonio is. I hate to admit that, but I'd never been to San Antonio before. I didn't realize that it is like the 5th largest city in America, and that caught me off guard. And that also brings me into my next lessons learned. All right, was sticking to your plan. I say that because I stretched the first night of my drive to make it to my pre-planned destination because it was taking me longer than I had planned on to get there. So I stretched, I got there was a time zone change, so it was later at night than what my body thought it was, but I checked into my hotel, went to bed, and I woke up early. I woke up really early, even though I was in a different time zone. So what did I do? I got on the road an hour ahead of my planned departure time. What did this end up causing? It had caused me to arrive in that city that I underestimated, San Antonio, an hour ahead of schedule. So instead of getting there around 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night, I got there about 5:45, right in the middle of peak rush hour traffic on a Friday. It was horrible. It was a horrible way to end a long day of driving across Texas. And I 10 out of 10 do not recommend that. So stick to your plan. Had I just took a little extra time in the morning and maybe got a little extra rest or took a second shower or something like that, gone for a walk before a long day of driving, I wouldn't have been dealing with rush hour traffic in San Antonio at the end of driving for 11, 12 hours. 4th lesson learned. BAB difference between your current duty station and your new duty station. I moved from California to Louisiana. It was a difference of almost $2,000 difference in BAH. I went from roughly $3,400 a BAH down to $1,900 a BAH, so a $1,500 difference. And from the day I checked in to the day that my travel claim was processed, I was overpaid for about 23 days of BAH, which means I have a debt to the Navy, which led me to catch mistakes on my travel claim, mistakes on my LES, and the Navy actually has calculated those days wrong, and now I'm having to be proactive and getting it corrected. My concern is that I deep dove into my LES, I read all the remarks, I went to my CPPA, and even he was a little puzzled, but I was on top of it. Right? He gave me the letter of indebtedness and just said, hey, here, you owe the Navy. It was over $2,000. And I was like, whoa, wait, that doesn't sound right. We started doing the math and we started digging into it. And it turns out that I do owe the Navy some money, but it's about half of what they're saying I owe. My concern is that if you just got that letter of indebtedness and said, okay, cool, I'm going to pay the Navy $2,300, when you really only owed them like $1,100, that sucks. And it happens. And if you're not on top of it, no one's going to catch it for you. So pay attention to your LES, especially during the time of PCS, and especially when you're going from a higher BAH rate to a lower BAH rate. If it's the other way around, it's not as big of a deal. But in that case, you want to make sure that you got the amount of money that you're supposed to be getting and that they didn't underpay you for a period of time. So I kind of went into both of them there. Pay attention to your pay and the overpayment. That was 4 and 5. All right, you've got to be proactive on your pay. You have to pay attention to your LES. It's important that you review it every single month, but it's critical at times of PCS, or if you're selling leave. Those are the times that you really, really want to pay attention. Anytime you're traveling and maybe extra money's coming in, you really need to pay attention to your LES. And then the 6th lesson learned is document your household goods. I thought I did a good job of it, but I'm fairly certain the moving company pulled a quick one on me. They broke an antique vanity of my wife's, and on the pickup location paperwork, they wrote broken leg on there. And the moving company was in a rush that day. They were behind schedule. They were already supposed to be at the loading dock, and we still had to do all of the paperwork. And I didn't feel that I had the time to sit there and review the paperwork. That's my fault. Their schedule shouldn't have affected me, but I didn't catch that there was a broken leg written on there, and there was no broken leg. I signed it. Well, the problem is that I'm having a hard time getting compensation for this broken vanity because it says broken leg on the pickup location. So document your furniture. Document the condition of it before the movers even touch it. Review your paperwork. Take the time. Don't let their schedule dictate your review of the paperwork. All right. And then be very thorough when you do your not your travel claim, but your damage claim through DPS. Be very thorough. The insurance company did give me a good amount of money for all of the damages that they did, but they are refusing payment for the big ticket item. All right. So those are my 6 lessons learned from my most recent PCS. If you've made it 9 minutes and 13 seconds into this video, please subscribe to this channel. All right, give my video a like, share my content with your friends. I appreciate it. And I'm almost done with my master's degree, and we'll get hard and heavy on videos once I complete that. So thanks again.